Live without the intro. Forgot the intro. That's okay. That's okay. All right. We are live in all three places.
Great.
We're live again on the Writer's Block Live, little midday edition today with Trussville City Council elect Kimberly Farr. Thank you for coming in.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you. We kind of owed you. We owed you more time from election night, where we were doing this.
Wait, where's Ben? Is he gonna?
I know
Ben's
Ben's
running.
like,
Is he gonna run in?
he texted me last night. That would be funny if he just walked
Yeah.
in. But yeah, we owed you a little more time because we were kind of doing that off the, flying by the seat of our pants. And he just started walking down the hall, and you saw Zach just start going like this, and he had CBS cameras following him. So,
You're like, let me shoot my shot. Come on now.
Yeah, he was coming.
Yeah.
So we owe you that time
It's
to
okay.
talk more about
My
this
feelings
stuff.
are no longer hurt.
No longer. Now that the apology is live and out
Yes.
there. No, we'll just start. Election stuff's over, but just briefly, just a reintroduction of yourself
Sure.
to people who maybe weren't paying attention or didn't vote or whatever. Just tell people who you are.
Yeah, no, y'all excuse my voice. I've got a little laryngitis, but I'm Kimberly Farr. I have been a resident of Trussville for 5 years. I'm originally from Pinson, so I came to the rival town. I have 2 little kids and a husband named Brian. My kids are Cecilia, who is 6, and Liam, who will be 5 at the end of November. And we are heavily involved in the school system as well as all the sports. So our lives outside of work are totally committed to youth tumbling, dance, and baseball. And I'm sure there's other things that will come about in the future. I am the HR director at Spock Automation. I've been there for over 12 years. I also currently serve as a member of the Industrial Development Authority, as well as the vice president for the Chamber of Commerce, which I will be stepping down from both those positions come November. And that's a little bit about me. I could go on and on, but
Sure. Well, we'll keep this thing going. Before we really get into this, I want to tell you all real quick, just a quick thank you to the Writers Block Live sponsors, 360 Lending. Appreciate Lisa McClellan of 360 Lending sponsoring the live podcast. She's been in trust for more than 20 years and opened 360 Lending in 2022. You'll be able to see her information on the ticker below. Navigating paths to home ownership, visit my360lending.com. And also Mark Turner, attorney at law, visit markturnerlawfirm.com or call 205-568-7003. And those will be running on the ticker on the bottom of the screen as we go along. We'll also throw in, I'm going to do it right now. We'll throw in some upcoming Trussville meetings that you'll probably have to be at a bunch of these things, but we'll throw those in there as well so that you guys can, another way to stay informed of what's happening and when. So, go to a meeting, don't just complain about it on Facebook. There you go. What's it been like since August 26th?
relaxing. So relaxing. No, it's so funny. I was actually having this conversation, I think, with Jim Miller. He and I had coffee the other day because we're trying to all get to know each other.
Sure.
But it was funny because I guess we were so go that it just became inherent, and it was just a natural, like, we're campaigning all the time, we're working, we're going to meetings, we're just constantly on the go. That August 26th hit, and then August 27th hit. And August 27th, it was like, oh, my body just shut down. I'm now sick with everything I can imagine. So I've been trying, not very successfully, but I've been trying to at least relax a little bit, maybe not attend as many meetings because I know that I'm going to have to pick up on all that here shortly. But let me tell you, once you are elected, regardless of council elect, you are being contacted by everybody. And it is exciting. Don't get me wrong. It's very exciting. And I want to do everything right by our community. So I have been trying to be as involved as possible while still utilizing a little bit of this time to spend a little extra time with my kids and husband. So, and concentrate on some things that I had to set aside during the campaign season.
How quickly did you get up all your signs?
I tried to do it within 24 hours. It was funny because Brian, my husband, was like, here's where all of them are, because we tried to make sure we kept a map or at least knew all the addresses.
Smart.
And so we just went and started tearing down. And then I put a post up saying, hey, if you've got a sign, bring it by my office. Let me know. I'll come get it. So if I missed any, it was within 48 hours.
Love it. How have, if they have you kind of answered it maybe a little bit there, but campaigning versus now being elected, y'all aren't sworn in until November 3rd.
November 3rd,
I think it is. How have the focuses shifted or have they in any way? Does it feel different?
It feels a little different. I think it'll feel even more different November 3rd. But right now it's still continuing the same. It's continuing to listen, continuing to, allow people to give me a phone call, hear what they have to say. And right now, I can't do a lot other than listen and take that message back to, the people that are in charge right now. But I'm sure a lot of that will change. And obviously there's going to be a lot more phone calls and a lot more emails. And I'm actually looking forward to it.
You say that?
I know I say that now. But no, I think that being a steward of your community, that's what we ran for. I want to make sure that I'm true to my word.
That's exactly right. Well, I'm going to have to refer to this a good bit because I figured today we would just kind of go through. I pulled up the campaign website and, just kind of went through some of your I guess your bullet point platform, I guess people call it, type stuff, and just kind of pulled from it. And I just figured we'd kind of spend this time talking about that. I know a lot of people maybe they're on lunch break, maybe they're not watching it at all. They'll see this after the fact, but if anybody does tune into this live and you have a question, if you're on YouTube, type it in, I'll see it. If you're on Twitter, just be a high school football player.
I was wondering. I didn't even think it was called Twitter anymore.
I'm not going to call it.
Oh, okay.
I can't. It's Twitter. Or where we think probably most people will be is Facebook.
Sure.
So if you're in Facebook and you're watching this, you have a question, just type it in the comments. I'll be able to see it. If it's appropriate, we'll ask it. And if it's actually appropriate, we'll show it on the screen. So anyway, all right. So let's just kind of spend some time on this. I just kind of went down the list. First, smart growth. How do you, city council, and new mayor ensure development kind of strengthens the city? Like what's the mindset there with smart growth?
Yeah. So I know a lot of people are being very proactive in this, and especially our mayor-elect. And there are some new regulations coming to our design review and subdivision regulations and updating all of that. And I think that those are taking steps towards a little bit of that smart growth. Obviously, maintaining relationships with, the people that are in control as far as like ALDOT and all that. I hope to meet everybody I can. I think connections are so important to be able to have these conversations. There's going to be so much to learn. I'm trying to be a sponge as much as I possibly can. So I think that, starting there with the updates to all of our regulations is a great starting point. And from there, we're just going to have to figure it out together. And when I say that, it is all about strategy and all about making things very digestible so that you can be successful at it.
Yeah. How far out do y'all want to think? Like you hear in a lot of places like, oh, for the next 4 years. But I think there's been that there seems to be an appetite for thinking about Trussville beyond 4 years. I mean, the 2040 plan was created in 2018. Like how far out do y'all want to, think about Trussville and what you develop and what you allow, I guess, and that kind of thing.
Right. Well, I can't speak for the whole council yet. I look forward to those conversations, but my one voice, I think I mentioned the 2040 plan several times during my campaign. what I do think is very, very important is if you have a plan that goes out that far, you need to be able to really make, as I mentioned before, make some plans that are digestible. So we can look at a year and what we can accomplish in a year. We can look at 3 years and 5 years and up to 10 years. And those plans need to be strategic. And those things that you do in the first year need to affect the next 3 years, need to affect the next 5 years, and so on and so forth.
So they kind of build on each
They
other?
have to build on each other. It's like running a business. And I'll tell you, coming from Spock, a company that started when I was there, I think there were 20 people that started before me. And then when I was there, I like to say I was in that 60 range.
Okay.
Probably before that too.
Yeah.
And now we're at 181 people.
Wow.
And we, have some really big, ambitious goals. But
Sure.
unless you look at them from what can I do in a quarter, and do it quarter by quarter for a full year. I mean, you got to make adjustments just in that amount of time. Could you imagine the amount of adjustments you've got to make as you keep moving forward? So yes, if it's building on top of each other, I have a feeling we can be pretty successful.
What do you think in that first year? What do you think some things are?
Oh man.
In terms of smart growth, I guess.
Yeah. No, I think what the proactive moves that we're making in subdivision regulations and design review, I look forward to seeing those things. I haven't been privy to that information yet, but that's a start, at least to kind of slow some things down so that we can make the proper adjustments and so that we can move forward.
Yeah.
I think that we all have big desires and plans. We just really need to kind of hone in on some things to actually be successful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you can't stop it, but how much can you kind of limit it, control?
Yeah.
Gene Melton, former mayor, said that for years and years and years. Controlled growth it didn't matter when I interviewed him or what the topic was. Somehow that phrase controlled growth made it into every single story. But
it makes so much sense too. And I think that we've been very successful over the past few years. I was not part of the community when Gene Melton was the mayor, but from the visible sense of what Buddy Choate and this current council has done, it's been tremendous, and it's been in a very positive way. If we can continue some of that, but just hone in on some of the things that need work,
Sure.
Some things that need refinement, I think we could have a lot more success there.
I think so too.
With a lot less bumps.
Yeah. You know what? It's funny because you've got one about the same age. Your boy's what, 4?
He's 4.5. Yeah. Well, 4 3/4.
Exactly. And then I've got one who's 5 who, like, when I grew up in Trussville, not a whole lot changed, right?
Sure.
But ever since we've had a 5-year-old, it's like, it doesn't matter where we go in the city, we're going to come across a dump truck or an excavator. Oh, and they love it. And he's just like, look, another one, and he's thrilled about it. And I'm driving in the front seat and I'm just like, another one.
But what is it for? Yeah.
Yes. And is it for something that's very intentional and
exactly
controlled and fits and, fits what the city needs, the culture, the identity, all those things.
You're hitting the nail on the head. And I think that intentionality is a better way of putting it. Having and being intentional. And you do that in your daily lives. That's how you run your household. We should be intentional when it comes to the community as well. So I think that that's a brilliant way of putting it. Not only that, but just like you said, why is that excavator there? I do hope, and I think that our mayor-elect, and I think a lot of our council people, you're going to hear from us a lot more. I think you're going to hear from the mayor a tremendous amount, far more frequently than we probably expect, which I think is a brilliant thing. And we've honed in on transparency. We've honed in on communication. We're not going to go against our promise. And I think you're going to hear it a lot more.
Yeah, I think so too. It's part of the reason all of y'all are, in my little tiny world here, doing this.
Absolutely.
Ben, I'm gonna say it on here because he did tell me he'd do it, so I'm gonna document it publicly. He's because
don't get me in trouble. I had nothing to do with it.
No, this is just me talking. Ben knows that. But I know he'll probably do. Ben has such a diverse background,
Sure.
and he's been able to do a lot of things. Very smart guy. I know he graduated ahead of me, and we were 2006, but I'm sure he was ahead of me in the little GPA deal at the end of the school year. But I know he knows all this media stuff, and he's very good at it, and he researches it well, and he'll be able to do a lot of things on his own. But he did tell me that maybe once a month he'll come on the podcast and do a little mayor's update. So that's it. That's at least 12 of them per year where we can look at the previous month, look ahead, and then keep doing it.
Gosh, Gary,
every
this
month.
podcast has gotten you like busy, made you very, very busy.
At times, it made me busy this year.
Yeah.
Previously, it didn't make me very busy. It was just like, all right, what football coach do I want to talk to this week? And then an election year happened.
Yeah, I think your viewership probably went.
It did.
Went up. Not that football's not important.
No, it was so like, because I talked to y'all on the podcast so early, but that was because this cycle started so early with Buddy saying he wasn't going to run. And then I was just going to do the mayors. Yeah. So I talked to Ben, talked to Lisa in like January or something like that. And then like the first name that I think really put himself out there was Drew Lawley, who ended up stepping away from it. But I was like, I graduated with Drew too. Yeah. And so I was like, let's just do a podcast and just shoot the breeze or whatever. And, I'll talk to others who run. And that's before I knew that like everybody was going to run. You
were like, Shirley's only a couple people.
Yeah, I was like, at most we'll do like 5 of these. Well, like 11 of them later, I was like, I'm so tired.
I'm sure your wife and son are glad to have you back.
Yeah. Yes. So anyway, it's been fun though, because like, I think we try to come at it in a different kind of way. Like we'll talk about the stuff happening in Trussville, but in a much more toned down, like in a chill kind of way.
I wonder, I need to go back and watch mine. I have no idea. I don't even remember what I said. I feel like it was ages ago.
Yeah, it was probably like March.
Yeah, which feels like a year ago, honestly.
So long. All right, well, let's move to economic development. I've got this in quotes, so I probably pulled it from your website. But what are the right industries for Trussville?
That's a great question, because the industry that I'm in is, small manufacturer, like clean manufacturing. And I think that there's a lot of room for that here in the growth that could happen within our community. But I would absolutely love to see more of that tech type company come here. I think that there's an opportunity for medical. I look at the geographic location of where we are on a map. Yeah. Think about it. We have 459 and we have I-59 running through. We have 2 major hospitals that I can think of, with UAB, obviously. And then we have Grandview. And I think of like, all these specialty doctors that a lot of times, and I'm honing in on doctors because, well, who doesn't need a doctor every once in a while? But I think about specialty doctors. I think about dermatology. I think about ophthalmology, and just those things that I end up going out of town for. Maybe we have 1, but do we have room for 2? And just having almost like a medical center of some sort where there's a lot of that expertise here. That's just an idea. Again, I've just got big ideas. I don't know if that could come to fruition. But
well, that's even what the 2040 plan was in 2018. I mean, I'm not disparaging it. A ton of work went into it, but at the time when I was still mostly writing and not doing this as much, like I was told like, hey, these are the pie in the sky ideas, and a lot of them are, and a lot of them are attainable. A lot of them have been attained, but you can't get to a really good, flushed out, fixed, very specific idea without having a big idea and then culling it down.
Exactly. And I want people to realize that I'm listening to what they're saying too. And I'm not coming up with these ideas on my own. I think that there's a lot of opportunity that people have brought to me and said, hey, have we ever thought about bringing a technical, adult education here, where, I know there was talks about Jeff State coming to Glendale. There's still opportunity for that here. I went to a meeting over the weekend with ACTA. And they would like what do they call it? I keep saying fine arts and
cultural arts center. Not performing.
cultural.
Cultural
And so
arts,
you've got lots of different art opportunities. But some of these things could bring revenue to the city, and they're big ideas, and we have to make sure the budget's right. And it may not be within our term, but they're ideas that we could actually lay out and say, hey, could we come up with a plan for this?
Yeah.
I think that it comes with communication, but also communications with industries and seeing if that's even a viable opportunity for us.
Yeah. So for the right industries, like, are we mostly talking about the industrial park and kind of what was it, Commerce Lane?
Yeah.
Where
they opened up Commerce Lane to
kind of have what pad ready spots or something like that.
I mean, in all honesty, I think, sitting on the IDA, we have brought some industry into the industrial park. I think that there is a lot more opportunity there, but we also have to think in a more strategic way as far as planning for that industrial park. I think that, and it's going to take finances as well. So, it needs to be the right time, because if it's not in the budget, we don't need to touch it. But, I think for instance, a lot of that infrastructure could already exist to be more inviting for companies to come in. So the utility already exists, the roads exist, that kind of thing. But that's an investment on the city and from the city, and it may take some time.
Sure. Yeah. I can't remember the story. I don't have it pulled it up, but I remember doing a story like that, talking with Lisa Bright, and her talking about like kind of those pad ready areas. And I may have to pull that out to ask about her tonight, since I'm talking to her tonight.
Cool.
But a lot better than just showing them like, here are some trees, and like, try to imagine like if you can already have that part done. And I would think, you tell me, since you're on IDA, like, I would think as a business and industry considering coming to a town, coming to any city, that would show them like, hey, like a little bit more of, we really do want you here.
It's like a little more inviting.
Yeah.
Whereas, I think what people don't realize about the industrial park, and of course, I don't want to say too much, but if I am, I apologize. There are plats that are available for sale, but there's a lot of earth to move, and I think that that's something that we have to take into consideration as well, is, it's not only are they coming in and purchasing a plat of land, we have to take into consideration the amount of work that's going to go in for the company itself before they can even get started working there. It's moving the earth, building the building, making it accessible, and making it a workable piece of property, and that's something that I would like to potentially assist with in the future.
Are there opportunities for industry, the right industries, whatever, outside of the industrial park? Like we're getting close in Trussville, where it feels like industrial park, potentially Glendale and Deerfoot.
Yeah.
And
but you know what? I think that there's also some opportunity for professional businesses to come here, and we actually have a lot of existing infrastructure, and I'd like to see empty buildings filled. So, for instance, I would like to see the Pinnacle be utilized in a way that, and there are some medical companies coming into those areas. There's like a urgent ortho care, there's PT, there's I think that there's a lens crafters or something up there. And we have a lot of potential in that building. And also it's access to the interstate. I wish
you could see it better from the interstate. Like if you're not a Trussville person and you're just like on 59, it's like those trees got so high, and that's technically that is the front of the Pinnacle. It's got that big wall and sign out there that you really can't see.
Yeah, but if it's not used as a mall,
and you can't get to it obviously without hey, AlDOT, while you're doing all that work, just put a little exit right there.
Sure.
No problem. Just throw it in.
I think that they've done a good job though, with that little back road that goes towards
Valley Road.
Yeah, Valley Road.
Valley Road. I use Valley Road a ton.
Believe me, I use Valley Road a ton.
I'll give Buddy Choate some flowers here on this. Like I remember when that project was happening, I have a book titled Valley Road. That's that Valley Road. I have a lot of people confused that think it's about the Valley Road in like Fairfield or something. And
Yeah.
I'm like, nope,
No,
not
it's
that.
our Valley Road.
Our
Valley.
part of our valley, part of
Yeah.
it's ours, part of it's not.
Right.
but anyway, it was like he would talk about how important it was so much, and people. I remember seeing, try not to spend time in the comments, but there are times where you see some and people are like, well, it's just whatever. It's just another road, more pavement in Trussville, whatever. And I'm like, you got no idea what that road has done.
You're taking so many people off Highway 11. It's awesome.
Off
Chalkville Mountain Road. Oh gosh, I know. But the thing about the Pinnacle is if you're putting the right businesses in there, they're going to have their own marketing. They're going to have their own PR. But they're not going to be. It's not going to be a shopping center anymore. In my mind, I think that there's some opportunity there for, your professional buildings, your office space, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Whatever that is, it's just in a really convenient spot if utilized correctly. So we just got to think
I
differently. I like to say this is something that we learned through creating measurable results. A program that we're going through at SPOC.
Yeah.
And he talks about everybody thinks outside the box, and eventually that ends up being in the box. So we've got to think beyond the box. We've got to come up with some creative ideas. And I think that we have a lot of good, smart people in this community, people that have already said that they want their voices heard. Yeah. Well, I'm willing to listen. Yep. So if you've got some cool ideas, please contact me. At least let me know, and I'll at least spread the word.
Yep. How about like other than like the industry, the commercial side of things, just residentially? How do you kind of balance that with, like if you're not growing, you're dying, and but is it the same type deal? Just kind of trying to control it till a certain point, or what?
I
don't even know what you can do.
Listen, I don't know all the ins and outs, and believe me, I live in one of those tract communities. We both do. Yeah. We're in the same neighborhood. Yep. I'd love to see more estate size lots. I'd love to see that opportunity grow for Trussvillians. I think personally, I'd love to live on an estate style lot myself. But again, we'll go back to subdivision regulations, design review, being a little more stringent on those rules and those regulations will help. But there's probably other opportunities that we could explore. And we just, again, I'm not there yet, but I will be. I'll explore them.
That's right. Let's move to infrastructure. We'll start hitting these slightly quicker, probably.
Okay. But because I got to go back to the office.
Ditto. Infrastructure. What ways can the city prioritize improvements? Because you end up with, it's like so much of the issues that we have here. It's state, it's county, and so it's do the relationships have to be so strong that somehow that helps? Like, what can the city do for infrastructure that needs updating, widening, paving, whatever it might be?
Absolutely. The communication and relationship that we have with each of those areas, whether it be the county, the state, ALDOT, all of that, we have to maintain those relationships. They got to, I think that the biggest thing for me is a lot of times, especially in my own full-time job, I got to listen to those pains. I got to hear those pain points. If I don't hear them, and if I don't hear them enough, there's not a whole lot I can do about it. I can think that I know what the problems are. I can think that I can, fix everything so it's better. Right. But I think that the relationship and making sure that they understand, hey, these are the pains that we're going through, it will help. Will it make an immediate, change? I don't think so. Yeah. But I think that if we're working together to make sure that we can fulfill, at least help the infrastructure, I think that, that's the best I can give you right now. Of course, I will learn more.
Oh, yeah.
I will learn more. One other thing that I do think is really important is that we use existing buildings and existing infrastructure to the best of our abilities. What's already existing that we can utilize in a better way? I don't know. I have to examine that. Look into it.
Are there investments that the city can make to help, like with infrastructure stuff? Like, are there things that that you think, like in what you've learned so far, that is there a need somewhere that the city can help with pretty quickly? It's potentially in the in what will be a lean budget. Any ideas
It's
there?
definitely going to be a lean budget.
Oh, I know it's going to be lean.
It's going to be lean. I think that, they're already working on some of these projects. That cut through road is it will be a tremendous benefit to taking vehicles off of Highway 11.
It's great to finally see it
come to fruition. Like it's really existing.
It's like I remember maybe writing about it as an idea when Melton was maybe still in, and then I remember very specifically, like I wrote a story in 2019, Buddy talking about it and stuff. And then after a while, you're just like, this ain't happening.
This is never going to happen.
This is never, ever going to happen. And now you're like, okay, I can, you stand right there at Tally and look where the Baptist church is, Methodist church is. And you're like, oh, I see it's happening.
Here's one thing though. Here's one thing that I will say.
Yeah.
And we probably need it in Stockton. We're going to have to do a lesson on how to utilize a roundabout.
I just drive over the middle of it. No,
don't tell anybody that. Chuck Bradford, if you're listening, we do not do that.
No, Chuck will find me too.
Yeah. I think that one thing I'm learning from this process is that a lot of ideas take quite a bit of time to actually come to fruition, like actually happen. And I think that a lot of times people are like, well, because they don't see behind the scenes, they don't hear that constant communication, that they think that nothing's happening until they see it.
Yep.
And it's almost nice, like we can't share everything, and there's probably things that we could share that you're like, I don't care about that. But it's knowing where we kind of are in the process that helps people understand that their words are not going unheard.
Exactly.
It's just we can't do a lot right away.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Well, I mean, there's such a, like with the communication stuff, I've broken record, so sorry. But like I've said it for years and years and years, and I've really talked about it more from a school system standpoint, not just Trussville. I'm talking about any school system.
Yeah.
Let's say any city school system, county, yes too. But like if you have there are certain, I'm not going to name any, but there are certain school systems that they do have their own city school system, but funds aren't there anyway, right? You need that communications person, team, outsource it. I don't care, whatever it is. And I've said way more about it recently from a city perspective, not just here, because I've been going to a lot of things in another city, and seeing having that kind of background, or at least a little bit of that background, being like, oof, like what are y'all, what? And they're like, well, we did this. And I'm like, that didn't work. You got to do it. You got to pivot here.
But that's the thing, you got to pivot, and you got to be.
And I haven't seen a lot of pivoting in a lot of places at times, including here.
Sure.
And I feel, at least right now, encouraged by this group coming in, that it seems like that is something that y'all really, like you've said it today, that y'all really want to change, that you really want to focus on. And I would rather, as just a resident here, I would much rather have too much information and it be boring than nothing, and the balance of it is y'all can only do so much. Like you said, you can only put out so much. There's only so much you can or want to put out or is worth putting out. But if you live in a city, you got to care enough to show up. I've said it a billion times. I used to sit at the city hall that's next to where everything's being bulldozed right now. I would go every other Tuesday night, and it'd be me and the same 3 old men and the department heads and nobody else. Yeah. And I'm like, y'all don't get to complain.
Yeah. Well, see, what I've also realized during this process is, it's not always the loudest person that gets the last word. But what I think that we need to do as a community, and what I hope that this council will do, is encourage more of our residents to be heard and want to be heard. And that means come into our, city council meetings, or if we end up doing some kind of town hall or whatever that might be, so that they can take an active role as well. I think, and I don't want this to sound controversial, and I don't want to say this in a mean way, and I don't mean it in a negative way, but we have a council that is pretty middle-aged.
Yeah.
Like, we're younger.
Mhm.
And we've been a part of that whole, like, we want instant gratification. We want the information now. We have Google. We want to, we have ChatGPT. We have Siri that giving us all the information. Information overload is kind of our thing. It's kind of our jam. And that's going to show when we are in council, I think, just because we want it. So we want everybody else to want it.
Makes sense.
Just as much as we do. You said something that said, you said you want to take an active role because you've got things that you want to see in your community. Well, that's why I ran for city council. I mean, I wanted to take an active role in making sure that people are heard and that we can, actually make a difference. So granted, there's so much that I realized that, there's going to be things I can't say, and there's going to be things that, I didn't know that if you have 3 people in a room on the council that it's, not, it's a quorum, and we can't have we got to have an open meeting, and all these things that I'm learning make me realize that sometimes what I don't realize is there's a lot going on behind the scenes to protect and make sure that they're following legal regulations that nobody else knows that until you get thrown in it. And I get a lot of why now.
Oh yeah.
I get a lot of the why.
It's why you have to, like you said, wow, this more relaxed time, whatever.
Yeah.
It's such a time to be a sponge.
Sure.
Like you use that
100%.
phrase. It's just take in as much as you can. Like I don't, to each their own. I don't subscribe. I'm overgeneralizing, but I don't subscribe much to, like, if I'm elected to something or chose to be on something and come right in and act like I know what's what. Like I want to sit and ask like I think Jamie is going to be a great resource for y'all because she's the only incumbent.
That's right.
Obviously, Ben will be a great resource because he was on council and now he's the mayor-elect, but he's going to have his own learning curve, because that's a different role for him. So being that sponge is important in anything. And I think that's key right now. I would want, if I'm being represented as a resident by you guys, like I would hope right now that, you haven't been all posted on your Facebook page. You haven't posted since the election. And in my mind, I'm like, I hope she's like hearing things and just receiving right now.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what gives me like some like confidence and stuff in the people that have been elected.
I think that what we have on this new council is eager learners.
Yeah.
There's a lot of professionals on this council, and with that experience, we've all had to soak it in, whatever that education is. And, I'm currently studying for a certification myself. So, a lot of this is, an opportunity and to take in as much information as possible. Like you said, be a sponge and so that we do it right.
That's right. I had 2 more topics, but we're gonna go with one of them, and I'm gonna let you pick which one you want to go with.
Gosh.
You want to? Well, it's all from your website.
Okay.
You want to go with schools, or do you want to go with preserving character?
Are they kind of one and the same? Just kidding. I'm kidding. Let's talk about schools. Let's talk about schools.
All right. How do you prioritize education in city planning?
One of the main things I ran on was that I have 2 babies and they are going to walk this journey with me.
Yeah.
They are my little girl's in 1st grade right now. Yeah. And she too attended the University of Payne Elementary.
Are those shirts in yet?
Ben, are they in?
Let us know, Ben.
But it's interesting the we moved to Trussville for the school system.
Sure.
It is absolutely imperative that we continue to protect our school system and hold on to the relationship that the council has with the school system.
Yeah.
I think that Dr. Martin and the board that we have in place are doing a tremendous job. And I think that we have to trust them to make the right decisions for our kids and our faculty and our community as a whole. And so I have sat down with Dr. Martin recently because, again, I'm trying to meet everybody and soak it all in.
That's right.
The man has some really great ideas for the upcoming years. He's going to do what's right for the school system. He's going to maintain it. We are going to continue to focus on academics, the arts, and athletics. And I think that those three things alone, just those three things alone, are a tremendous amount, a tremendous opportunity for us to continue to grow in a positive way. We have to make sure that we stay what I keep calling the blue ribbon schools. I don't know what they call them now. I'm assuming they still do.
They just got
we're top of the state.
Yeah.
I mean, that is tremendous. What I used to call little bitty Trussville, not so little anymore, but we have to continue doing what we're doing and doing it to the best of our abilities. I think that maintaining that partnership and relationship, but relying on our school administration to continue to show their expertise and do what's right for this community. We will be there to provide any assistance that we can. But again, we need to rely on the people that we put in that space. And trying to overstep is not what I want to be about. I want to maintain that relationship and keep it as strong as possible.
Yeah. And I like Dr. Martin.
I do too.
I mean, he's been in the job 2 years.
Is it 3?
3 years? And
I don't know, but it is.
I didn't know him before he came here, and he pretty quickly agreed. I was doing a different video thing, podcast show, whatever you want to call it, back then, and it was the most random thing, and I just wanted to do it. It was sitting on the truck that you saw outside, just sitting on the tailgate talking with people, and he just pull up one day, and we mostly talked about basketball because he's a big basketball.
Yes.
His wife's coach, and he coached too. So we end up usually talking more. We'll talk sports first, and then we'll talk history because we just in each other's wheelhouse. And then we'll talk about what's going on with the school system, and stuff like that. But he's very, very good communicator, open guy, and Trussville City Schools needed that, and that's all I'll say.
Something that I will compliment him on, and I complimented to his face. Yeah. I love that after the board meetings, he does kind of a, state of the schools. He gets online and he goes through all the ins and outs and what we're winning at and what we're working on. And I just think that form of transparency is what people are screaming about, and transparency has become quite the buzzword. But I just think people just want to know. They want to be in the know. Yeah. And I think that he's doing a great job with that.
And there's so many, there's so many ways to do it now. It's
what form of social media are you getting on today?
Yeah. Well, it's kind of lazy if any group, whether it be a school system, a city, a business, whatever, it's kind of lazy if you're not reaching people.
Sure.
I know how much those mailers are if y'all wanted to send out something to every mailbox in Trussville, and probably not in the budget, but there are other ways that you can engage.
Pretty inexpensive, if not free, that we can keep engaging.
Yeah. We'll wrap this up. I've asked everybody this so far. First, what are you looking forward to the most being on city council?
Well, I think I'm really wanting to make sure that I stand true to my word. I look forward to people. I know it sounds crazy. I look forward to people coming to me and sharing their ideas. And I look forward to us being more collaborative as a community. Yeah. I think that that's the best way to put it.
Well, it's like even if someone comes to you negative tone or it's about something not so great, it means they paid attention.
That's right.
And that's right. It's like any publicity is good publicity kind of mindset, but it's like they're engaged. They're
Yeah.
they're interested in what's happening.
That's right.
And everybody's going to have their own opinion.
Right.
But yeah,
That's
for
so
sure.
important, though.
Yeah.
Collaboration. Now, does it always work? Probably not. And at the end of the day, eventually we're not going to make everybody happy, but at least people felt like they were heard, listened to, and we took every perspective into consideration.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, at the end of the day, that's what they elected y'all to do. It's like you're not going to like everything, but we made whatever decision it is, we made it with everybody and every avenue in mind.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to the least?
The amount of dinners I'm going to miss with my kids.
Ooh, that's, yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
I hear that.
I'm going to have to really get into meal planning. I have a tremendous support system. My family is of utmost importance to me. My husband is tremendous, and I'm very thankful to have him through this process. And it's sit down meals, and I know they're young, but look, community of Trussville.
Preach.
I am going to be dragging those kids all over the city, and if it's in the wrong environment, I apologize in advance, but there will be opportunities for them to learn in every single place that I take them. So
Exactly.
I think that what we will realize too with this council is that we all have little kids, or a lot of us have little ones.
Yeah.
And so you will see that family-oriented council over the next 4 years and on. But yeah.
It'd be like front row at a council meeting,
That's right.
chicken nuggets.
That's right.
Just make sure it's the night y'all don't have executive session.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. We actually might stick them in a conference room, but there will be Happy Meals galore.
iPads on the tables, toys in the corner.
Yes.
Wow.
We'll try to keep it professional though.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate. So y'all get sworn in November 3rd.
Yes. You gonna be there?
Maybe.
The Civic Center.
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
Do y'all have a meeting like right after it, or is this more ceremonial?
I think it's more ceremonial, but I don't know all the ins and outs. You know who you ask? Ben.
Dan, let us
Or
know.
Dan. Dan would know too.
Dan would definitely.
Dan knows everything. Come on.
By note, well.
Yep.
Did his Reds make the playoffs? I can't.
I don't know. I don't watch enough baseball for that.
November 3rd, they'll be gone if they are, and my fall opened up because the Braves are already out of everything.
Doesn't that stink? I know, it's a bummer.
It's a bummer.
I'm just into youth baseball now, so.
Okay. Are they going by actual, like, do they make up their teams?
No.
I've seen them.
So it's minor league baseball, I believe, is fall names, and Major League Baseball is spring. So my son is on the Mudcats, but we have like the Trash Pandas and I think the Barons. I think we have them all. But the Mudcats, I was like, what is that? That's from Cincinnati, apparently.
Cincinnati Mudcats. I love
big catfish on the front.
I love minor league baseball for that reason. They let
cool.
fans name the teams, pick out merch.
That's right.
Cool. All right. Well, we'll wrap this one up right there. Just going to remind y'all one more time while it's on the screen, just to thank our sponsors for this. 360 Lending, navigating paths to home ownership. Visit my360lending.com. Thank you, Lisa McClellan, for sponsoring the live show. And also thank you to Mark Turner, Attorney at Law. Visit markturnerlawfirm.com or call 205-568-7003. And we're not done today on this Tuesday. We will be live again right here in about 7 hours. We will have city council.
Hang out right here?
Huh?
You're gonna hang out right here?
Yeah, I'm just gonna sit here for 7 hours. Just wait on Lisa. We'll have city councilwoman Lisa Bright. She's gonna be on the show. So make sure you tune back in for that. And appreciate you coming in.
Yeah,
taking a lunch break without any lunch and doing this thing.
Oh, you're not providing lunch?
Starving artist.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I
appreciate you. Thank y'all for watching.